All right, guys, this is Shane.
Yep.
Today's video, we are going to roast our own coffee.
Let's
It is going to be a unique experience.
That's right.
And man, stay tuned. This is going to be cool.
Let's do it.
All right, what's up? Welcome to my channel. We're on with Brad. Yesterday, I stopped by Z Beans Coffee. All right, and they do tours, and I've been very interested in learning to roast my own coffee. So I'm going to get the opportunity today to go to their little warehouse or factory or whatever you want to call it, to where they roast their coffee in downtown Macon. And I'm going to get I guess maybe a tour, and I'm going to get to roast like 2 pounds of my own coffee. So that's kind of what I want to learn to do. And today's my chance, so I'm excited. And I've had a cup of their coffee this morning that I bought. I bought like a pound of their coffee yesterday, and I French pressed it this morning, and had about 4 cups, and it's good, and it smells wonderful. So I'm excited about this. Check this video out. Hit the subscribe and like button if you haven't already, and it's gonna be a good one. All right, check it out. All right, I got my Damon West shirt on. Be a coffee bean. I had to. Hope that's not too corny. If you have not heard Damon West on YouTube or any of his podcasts that he's been on, man, very inspirational. Go check it out.
On an academic-based mission trip during the summer of 2016, I went down to Zaruma, Ecuador with our Mercer University group to see if coffee was a viable alternative to gold mining. So when we were on the trip, we had a tour guide, Arturo Romero. So at this time, when he was our tour guide, he was 65 years old, now 69. He would take us to as many coffee plantations as we could throughout the day. We were only there on a 2 to 3 week trip. And so at the end of the trip, our group rationally concluded that coffee was not a viable alternative to gold mining, simply because there wasn't enough coffee. But before leaving, Arturo and I had developed this bond, this friendship, and we exchanged phone numbers and vowed to stay in touch. I was an economics, marketing, and Spanish major at Mercer, so I wanted to be able to improve my Spanish, and Arturo offered a great way to do it, right? Because if you're talking to someone and he cannot speak English, well, the only way we're going to be able to build our friendship is if I can speak Spanish. And so that's what we started doing. But if you're looking at it 8 months into a friendship, you're talking on the phone, there's only so many como estas you're going to ask before you just get bored.
Mm-hmm.
So Arturo said, "What do you think about starting a business?" Because he knew I had a passion for entrepreneurship. And I said, "Well, what are you thinking?" And he said, "Coffee." And what Arturo convinced me, and what we've had to convince ourselves and start building, is that we wouldn't just source from the El Oro region of Ecuador. Rather, we could source from far northern regions. So Milton Ribadi native, and all the way down there. That's from Ibarra, Ecuador, 30 minutes south.
That's the cup. That's the brand, the one I got yesterday.
So Milton's plantation is 30 minutes south of the Colombian border to the north.
Okay.
You got the Haya family. On the left-hand side, his plantations is 30 minutes north of the Peruvian border, Peruvian to the south.
Okay.
And so we've been able to source from all over the country, and in doing so, we're building these relationships. Like Ramiro Palta. Ramiro is, honestly, in all honesty, I've never met someone more intelligent about just coffee in general, from the bean all the way to the cup, whether it's roasting, the fermentation process of what he's trying to accomplish with his honey process and natural process coffees. He's a wizard,
Well, I had 4 cups this morning, French pressed, and man, it was good.
Yeah,
it was so good.
So Maria and Fabricio are the owners of the processing facility in Piñas, Ecuador. And so what the farmer's responsibility is to get their coffee. So we have different shipping companies that we offer to them, but their responsibility is to get the coffee to the processing facility. Then when it's at the processing facility, we process it down and then package it up. So this picture here is actually 2 of the guys that helped Carter and me on our trip in summer of 2019 load up the coffees and then ship them off through the port of Guayaquil, Panama Canal, into the port of Savannah. So that's our story, and that's
awesome.
There's 3 different types of processed coffees. You got your washed, natural, and honey. Okay, think of the washed like what you would have purchased from Milton Ribadi Native, a dark roast. His is a dark roast, but anyways, it's just like a dark chocolate bold cup of coffee. Think of that as your dark.
Okay.
On the honey process side, I like to think of it as a milk chocolate, a little sweeter. The honey process is a fermentation process where farmers will actually keep the mucilage layer that grows between a coffee cherry and the husk which the husk is inside the husk is in
Right.
the green coffee bean. They keep the mucilage layer on there, allow it to ferment. So that's what I was saying about Ramiro. He's a wizard at this.
Gotcha.
And then allow it to dry out on there, and it just creates a sweeter flavor. Natural processed coffee, you actually allow the coffee to dry in the cherry. It's very intensive. You have to constantly turn the beans. And you have a 5-foot tall coffee plant. On the coffee plant grows the cherries. You know, pickers will come and pick the cherries. Most productive pickers can pick about 120 pounds of cherries in a day, which is unbelievable to see them do it. So you have your coffee cherries, and then from there you rinse them, and then that's when it starts to differ. Do you remove the cherry? Do you keep the cherry on? Right? Do you rinse off the mucilage layer if you've removed the cherry, or do you keep the mucilage layer on there? And then you allow it to dry out. Wash processed coffees will take approximately 4 weeks to dry with good sun, 6 weeks for honey, 8 weeks for natural.
Okay.
So that's why, you know, the natural is tough to find because it's really hard to do it well. Here, so that's Ramiro Pouch's honey process. I guess you could smell it. It smells really good.
Oh, wow.
And then all the way over here is going to be your natural processed coffee that's going to have kind of a fruity, floral taste to it.
Smell some of that. Oh, yeah. That's very interesting.
Yep. And so your blend you can do.
All right, and this is what I got already.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. So yeah, we could use a different wash process farmer too. I just like to show.
Yeah, I
three
can
of them.
definitely tell the difference in the aroma.
Here's William Martillo's wash process coffee. So, you know, still the same process, but every farmer's plantation is going to have a little different
Yeah.
taste to it. You know, altitude levels.
Is the altitude is the higher it's grown, like more dense the bean or something
Exactly
like
right. Yeah, less oxygen, so less oxygenation of the bean creates a denser bean. Thus, what we like to do with a denser bean is you can put a darker roast on it while still maintaining intact its natural sugars and flavors, which is a real positive because here in the American society, we tend to have a little bit more bitter palate, like we have a more tolerance for bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to be able to take a built bean that's grown at 7,500 feet, processed an extremely dense, full bean, and be able to put a darker roast on it while maintaining the sugars, creates a coffee that is bold but so smooth.
Yeah, it is very smooth.
That's
it's
one
very,
of
very
the
much
things that we've always tried to maintain with our coffee. That aftertaste. What is the aftertaste? Charge temp is the temperature at which the green coffee beans, so room temp beans, 70 degrees, are first exposed to heat inside the drum.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just getting our drum up to temp. Now, when we use our big roaster, we kind of, we have a set temperature that we constantly do, and on the small roaster, it'll vary just depending on if you're using its max capacity. So when we're using a big one, we never do anything less than full capacity, you know what I mean? Because it's just our production roaster. We're getting 25 pounds out each time. But with this now, we want to vary it. So in my head, like what I would typically do, so full capacity on this is 7, full capacity is that, is 25. If at 25, we're using a 450 degrees charge temp. 450 would be 7 pounds on this. So it's going to vary a little bit off of it.
Where does it go?
So we'll put these beans up here.
Okay.
Yeah, the top of the hopper. We'll open up the hopper, and then you'll be able to see the green coffee beans spinning there inside the drum.
Oh, neat.
And then as we're doing it, we can pull out our sampler and see the evolution of the green coffee bean.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So while we're waiting on this, let me get you do you like dark chocolate by chance?
I like
So the chocolate factory, we do exactly that. We purchase
cool.
cacao directly from farmers. Arturo manages it. It's right now from his home in Zaruma, which is the Z and Z beans. And
so that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, I was going to ask that. So let's say it again. Zaruma,
Ecuador.
Zaruma, Ecuador.
Yeah. So that's where we first went. When we were on that original Mercer mission trip. And but anyway, so this is a salted bar. We make these here. So those are made at the chocolate factory in Zaruma.
I can just break off of this?
Yeah, please do.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. That's good. Oh, my God. This is better than anything you can get at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. My mouth is watering.
So it's 70%. So it's a formula that Arturo's come up with. It's 70% chocolate, and it's 62% cacao nibs and only 8% cocoa butter. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create as steep a slope on our time temperature graph when roasting as we possibly can. All right. So the steeper our slope, I like to think about it when you drink a cup and it's really sharp. Like, man, that has good bite. You know, that's sharp. Like kind of what you described drinking Milton's this morning. Then after we hit first crack, that you'll see the goal for us is to, all right, let's teeter that slope off and get it to be and slow down the roasting process. Okay. So, you know, that initial bite when you first drink the cup of coffee, then as you swallow it, kind of the aftertaste that's nice and smooth. That's how I like to describe our roast profile. You know, it's going to mirror it. So, you know, as steep as we can to make sure it's sharp, make sure it's fresh. We don't want anything flat where it's considered baking coffee, and then be able to slow it down. So that's
it's beautiful.
Yeah. You can smell it too. It's real grassy. It's earthy, you know.
So like when this is made, well, I need to let it rest for so many hours.
So what the Specialty Coffee Association tells you to do is you need to allow coffee to degas for 48 hours prior to consuming. What it's doing is freshly roasted coffee is giving off CO2. So if you consume freshly roasted coffee that's giving off CO2, your body will try to replace the CO2 with O2, and you get this.
Okay.
So that's kind of the, you know, people freshly roasted coffee think it gives people the jitters. Well, it's really your body doing its work. You know, they take care of business.
Did not know that part.
Starting to get some evolution.
Nice. Oh, I hear it.
Yeah. That's like popcorn. Quite as violent.
So how do you know the difference? Like, does it stop and then heat up more and then start cracking again to go to second crack? Okay.
Now, if you don't slow it down, so now I got about 30 to 45 seconds into a first crack, I'm going to decrease the amount of air that I'm allowing into my drum to slow that down. I've decreased my flame, and so now we're here at the peak of our slope. We're trying to teeter that off.
Gotcha.
And then that gap is what allows us to create the light roast, medium roast, dark roast, espresso. You know, like we can keep getting darker and darker. So with that said, are you a dark roast guy?
Medium dark.
Okay, all right, that's where we'll put it.
All right, so big question: how do you drink your coffee?
Black. Yeah, I only drink it black.
Yeah, I
have
black.
one cup of black coffee a day is all we need. So now this is your agitator. So while the roasting process is important, if you can't cut it off, it's going to forever keep roasting, right? So what the agitator is doing in your cooling bin is it's taking the coffee and sucking it. It's taking the air, cooling it down, sucking it off the coffee and throwing it out.
Taking the heat off.
That's right. Getting into our second crack.
Oh man, the color has just like really changed. Like it's gotten a lot darker over the past minute, it seems like.
Yeah. Now all I'm doing is listening for that crack. This is what I was telling you, you'd rather dance in the dark, not even see the temperature, don't even allow it to influence your.
So when you open that up, it's just going to dump it all out?
That's right.
All right, I'm going to make sure I get that on film.
Yeah, so I'm about to drop it in 3 seconds here. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
Coffees from different parts of Ecuador, some from higher altitudes, some from lower, thus density differs, and some of the beans are in different parts of their roasting process, right? You have some that are a little darker than others, and it's pretty common when we're doing a blend.
smells really good, Joe.
This stuff from yesterday.
Yeah. So I wanted to do something a little bit different today. All right, got 2 pounds of Z-Bean coffee. Made my own my own unique blend. Okay, so I got, it's half and half. It's 50% natural and it's 50% honey, which I had Shane, he kind of described the difference between the two, but the aroma on both of them was just so good. I had to get both. I don't know. All right, man, I appreciate you watching today. I hope you enjoyed this process of making coffee and the art behind it. It really is an art form to make coffee. Like, the process is not very complicated, but there's a lot of factors that go into it that make it unique and to make it your own. Everything from where the bean is grown to where the temperature you roast it at to how long you roast it. It's just like you got to have the secret sauce and the right combination, and I think Shane's got it, and Carter. They got something good going here at Z-Bean. So go give them a follow on Instagram. Go to their website. I'll leave it posted in the description, and get you some of their Z-Bean coffee, man. It's good stuff. I've already had some today, and I'm gonna have some more tomorrow. I'm gonna have some more for a while. I got 3 pounds of it. All right, that's it. That's all I got for today. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Kitty, 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 kitty.